people will always give you an advice that go for networking because networking expand your horizon. But you have to also understand how to nurture networking. If you don't know how to nurture your network, it's not going to work, People always have a concept that, okay, let me build this network. And when I build this network, I come to know that, okay, this particular person works in so and so, right? So let me try to get something out of him. No, this is not going to work. You have to be in touch with your network to understand their well-being. You have to stand by to your network in time of their crisis as well. Most of the time we go in a business conclave or any business meeting, our first intention is to exchange card. Right? And in the first impression, we start explaining who we are and what we do. So whenever people says that your career has been buried, just remember me and get in touch with me. I will show you.
Hello, Namaskar, and welcome to another episode of My Career, My Choice podcast. With me, Hrishik, of course, and with the man, the writer, Amazon bestseller, Mr. Abhishake De Sarkar. Hello and welcome to this podcast once again, Mr.
Thank you,
Sarkar.
Hrishik. Thank you. It's been always a pleasure to be with you.
So, how are you feeling today?
Excellent.
Yeah,
Always good.
Right.
Always good.
It's always lovely to have you in this podcast because, again, students really get a lot of help after listening to this beautiful podcast. So, we'll start off something very interesting today because I read your book and one of the chapter, it's called Networking, is there in your book. So, many people, say this, that networking is actually very important and it's good to have a very strong network, very rich network so that you can grow. So, networking is important. But then when I was reading your book, the title, it confuses me a lot. You have written networking is not important.
Yes,
Am I right?
Absolutely correct. To be
Why?
very frank with you, Hrishik, networking is not important unless until you know how to nurture your network.
Okay.
Okay. So this is one concept this youth has to understand. Nowadays people believe, or wherever you go to any business schools or anywhere in the earth, right? People will always give you an advice that go for networking because networking expand your horizon, right?
Right.
But you have to also understand that how to nurture networking. So if you don't know how to nurture your network, right, is going to be a liability, right? So this is very important. That's why we have written that networking is not important.
Until and unless you know how to
nurture
your network.
Right. So that's a concept, right? Otherwise, we know more than, say for example, let me give you an example. A kirana shop near to your house, a local retail outlet, right? Is a good network for you. You know that particular person. You buy regular stuff from that particular person on a regular basis. Right?
Yeah.
Now, is it possible that every single day you go to the shop and ask that particular person to give you stuff and you don't pay?
No.
Will it work?
No.
Right?
Not always.
No. Since it's a neighborhood kirana shop outlet, right? So for few days he might give you stuffs without asking for money because he knows that you stay nearby and might be you will pay him later, right?
Okay.
But if you make it a habit,
Exactly. Yeah.
if you convert it into a habit of taking this stuff, not paying, right? Although he is a very good person, very good connect, right? Whether you are utilizing your network in a proper way. So people have to understand that networking or any relationship, right? It has to be giver's gain concept.
Okay.
It's not taker's gain. If you think that whenever you establish a network, right, you will only take away from the network. No. This is not going to function. You always have to think how you can give and what you can actually give to your network. So it's a giver's gain. More you give, this particular person, the kirana shop owner, say for example, If you start recommending your friends and families, your neighbors to buy stuff from this kirana, and every time they go to shop from that kirana shop and they say, okay, I got
The
reference from
yeah.
Hrishik and he has said very high about you, so you sell this stuff on a very normal price, so we want to buy it from you, right? So this particular person will always will be indebted to you.
Yeah. Somewhere in his mind, he will always feel
Right.
grateful.
So, after a few days, if you go to his shop and try to buy some stuff, right, he will give it free of cost. Might be he will offer you, okay, Rishi, see, you have referred me so many people. Now it's my turn
to pay to buy you back,
to pay you back. Right.
but in kind, like in kindness.
In kind. He might be giving you a Cadbury, a chocolate, or might be one simple
Some
stuff.
small gift,
right? Small
gratification,
gifts,
right?
As a gratification.
Yeah.
So, if you don't know how to nurture your network, it's not going to work, People always have a concept that, okay, let me build this network. And when I build this network, I come to know that, okay, this particular person works in so and so, right? So let me try to get something out of him. No, this is not going to work.
Right.
It's a giver's gain world.
I'll just take up that what you just rightly said, and I would just like to add something that if this happens, if I only start to take advantage from that person, somewhere in his mind he will understand that, okay, whenever my call comes in his phone, and okay, chalo, he came again just to take some help, and maybe in future he would stop helping me. That can also happen, right?
Yes, how many times you call your friends, right, to ask them, how are you?
Right.
But you remember that whenever you start calling your friend, if there is any need, so this particular friend will get to know your nature.
Right.
Right. So this is not the way of building up a network. You also have to be in touch with them to understand how they are doing in life. You have to ask their well-being.
And help them as well.
And help them. And
right.
always, whenever you try to get connected with somebody, always try to ask that, okay, you are doing this, how can I
help you?
What kind of connect? What is your dream connect? Which can transform your life, right? So this kind of thought process will actually transform your relationship. And that is going to pay you off in future.
So keeping a healthy relationship with your network is mandatory.
Keeping a healthy relationship with your network is mandatory, and you have to always be in touch with them. No matter if you need them or not, you have to be in touch with your network to understand their well-being. You have to stand by to your network in time of their crisis as well. So there is a proverb that friend in need is friend indeed.
Right.
So that's the philosophy of networking.
And then karma is also there.
I'm not getting in this conversation with karma, because karma is a different concept, and we have
if
to...
If we consider the good deed.
Good deed, yeah. Good deed, yeah.
Right.
Good deed can be considered as a karma, right?
Yeah. So now, what is networking? The definition of networking, if I rather ask this question, according to you?
It's creating bonding.
Bonding.
It's a bonding. It's a healthy bonding.
Right.
Right. Network is nothing but creating a bonding between two individual, right, who knows each other. Most of the time we go in a business conclave or any business meeting, our first intention is to exchange card. Right. And in the first impression, we start explaining who we are and what we do.
Right.
So this is not the process. There is a giver's gain as well as there is a listener's gain. You have to listen to your connect. Speak less, listen more.
Listen more.
Right.
Keep your ears open, as you say.
Open. That's why God has given you 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Right.
Right. So this is the philosophy. You have to understand this.
That to listen more and to talk less.
Yes. And to make this process more easy to understand, right, I can give you another good example.
Yes.
Right. Trees grows in 2 ways. You have any idea about that?
No.
trees grows in two ways.
Okay, one is the root that goes downward and
Upward.
tree is upward.
Now
Yeah.
the root that goes downwards
Yeah.
cannot be seen.
Yeah. Yeah, it stays beneath the soil.
Now,
Yeah.
when the root goes downwards, this is the strength of the foundation. So when you start establishing a network with somebody, you have to grow your root downwards. And then if the root grows downwards, then the tree will come up and then you can have the fruits.
Right. So creating a strong foundation is
Foundation
important.
is most important part
Right.
in networking. If you are unable to create a strong foundation, you're not going to build a good bonding. And if you're unable to build a good bonding, this networking is not going to give you an ROI.
Right.
You will not have the fruits of the network.
Right.
So this is very important.
So Abhishek De Sarkar sees a good network like he sees his friends or anyone close to him.
I try to help people, right? That's
Right.
my nature, And I learned this particular process from my father, right? He has a nature of helping people out, right? And that's a nature that I have adopted, and that's my DNA. I try to help people no matter what, right? And in return, people remember me. So when there is a crisis situation, people always call me up. So that is what we believe. And I can give you a perfect example on this particular context. That I always say to my students, when all your doors get closed, right? You have visited all overseas consultant, every motivational speaker, mentors, right? And you are walking in the dark road, dark tunnel. So all people have said that your career is buried.
Right.
There is no hope for you, right? At that point of time, remember me, I will show you that the career has not been buried, it has been planted. So every setback is a stage for you to come back.
No matter wherever.
No matter where and what has happened to you.
Right.
So whenever people says that your career has been buried, just remember me and get in touch with me. I will show you that no, God doesn't have any intention to bury anybody's career. I'm a strong believer of this universe, right? So whenever you consider that it has been buried,
Yeah.
it means
You have a fresh start.
it has been planted.
Right.
And if something has been planted, it need external support system. You have to water it. It has to get light, right? This water, light, fertilizers is what? Is your mentors who can guide you,
Right.
to uplift you, so that you will get huge benefit out of it.
Right.
So this is life, It's a journey, and we have to walk.
So then finally we would wrap up this session. But before that, I would like to ask another question that the students who will listen to this podcast and who are listening rather would definitely ask this one question that, how can I build a strong network? What are the few things that I would need to keep in mind?
Now, to build a strong network, you have to reset your mind first. And when I say you have to reset your mind, you have to change your attitude. And the attitude will be, is a giver's gain. So next time, whenever you meet any stranger and try to establish a network among yourself, right? The first and the foremost thought that should come to your mind is what I can give to this particular person.
Rather than what I can get from that person, I should remember
Always
that.
your mind should be reset. Right. You always have to think that what I can give to this particular person, my new friend. Your network is a new friend, is a new connect.
Right.
So if you can change this mindset, right, automatically you are going to deep root in your roots. So when you deep root in your roots, you will get the fruits one day.
Right.
So this is how the effect of network plays in life.
Givers gain always.
Givers gain always.
Well, yes, thank you again. But again, before wrapping up, few rapid fire questions for you. So my first question will be today. I am not gonna make you select between two. Rather than, I would love to ask few questions and get answers from you. Favorite cricketer?
Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Wow. Any specific reason for that?
Uh,
World Cup.
no, not World Cup. Mahendra Singh Dhoni is a person who has never given up. Okay, if you see his journey
Right,
as a
true,
cricketer,
true.
right? Now, everybody will say Sachin Tendulkar is a god of cricket. I don't deny on the fact
Yeah.
he is a god of cricket,
Yeah.
right? But as a human, right, I will consider God. I don't have any courage to mark any god. So Sachin is a god. So
Yeah.
we'll put him in the different layer. But Mahendra Singh Dhoni is a person.
Man of hard work.
He's a man of hard work.
Right.
He has shown to this youth that when the world says impossible, it actually means to say that I am possible. So
Right.
he has turned around his life. So Mahendra Singh Dhoni is my ideal.
So would you? Next question will be: would you love to watch a World Cup final in the stands and see India lifting the trophy one day?
If I definitely get an opportunity, why not? But to be very frank with you, I always try to watch cricket with my family and my friends. So
Yeah,
my
you just
drawing
said
room,
it in the
my
last
drawing room
episode,
is
yeah.
the most comfortable stadium for me.
Right. Okay. Now this question I always wanted to ask you that Durga Puja is the very the famous festival of Bengali. So what would you rather do? Stay here in Kolkata, enjoy the festival, or go out on an international trip?
No, normally in Durga Puja, I always try to be with my family, spend time with my family, and try to reboot myself.
Reboot. That button is very much necessary for
Important
everyone.
in life.
Right. So yes, and my final question will be, doing a podcast as a anchor or as a speaker. Which one is more comfortable?
I have never got an opportunity to be
If you
as
get-
an anchor, right? But yes, if somehow I get an opportunity to be an anchor, then I can play that particular role, because at the end of the day, Shakespeare has well said that life is a stage and we are merry actors.
Yeah.
So we have to act.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Whether that side or this side, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
So we should just shift one day. Then we just
Why
switch
not?
roles.
Why not?
Yeah.
It will be my privilege,
It will be my privilege as
okay, to interview you, because I want to show the world at the actual Hrishik.
well. Well,
Okay.
definitely we can see to that. Well, thanks a lot again, and we had a wonderful session once again.
Thank you, Hrishik.
you
Wonderful.
everyone.
It's always been a pleasure to interact with you.
Well, same here. We'll see you in another great episode. Well, meanwhile, do like this video and do subscribe to our channel. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.